Okay, so we are on question number 1.10, Lawton Industries, right? Exam technique, first read the requirement. Let us read the requirement first. The requirement is calculate the ROI, which is also called return on investment, for the year just ended for the pressure division of Lawton Industries. Okay. Requirement number 2, calculate the residual income, which is also called RI, for the year just ended for the pressure division of Lawton Industries. Question number 3, would the management of pressure division have been more likely to accept the investment opportunity it had during the year if residual income were used as a performance measure instead of ROI? So this is a theoretical question in which you have to explain your answer also. No calculation needed here. And the fourth requirement is the pressure division is a separate investment center with Lawton Industries. See, they told you it is an investment center. Identify and describe the items which pressure must control if it is to be evaluated fairly by either of these two measures. So we need to see what we have to control. Right, my friends? So before we move on, just to give you an idea, a recap, what we discussed before. So if you remember that when I talk about return on investment, what is the formula? The formula is operating income divided by average investment, right? And to make it a percentage, you can multiply by 100. So what is the logic behind this formula? Two things you have to remember. First of all, why we take operating income? We take operating income because that is also called controllable profit. Okay, and definitely you can take a figure. I mean, you are evaluating your investment manager, your investment center, so you will evaluate them only on the basis of a figure which they can control. So when I say controllable profit, it normally means profit before interest and tax. Okay, either you call PBIT or EBIT, no issues. Okay, earnings before interest and tax, you know very well. So this is the first logic, that why we use operating income, because that is controllable profit which is under the control of the manager, and we can use this figure to evaluate them. That is more fair. Now when I talk about the denominator, the first thing you need to remember why we take average. This is a benchmark in ratio calculation. Then when you have the numerator from the income statement, see, numerator is from where? In operating income is coming from where? Income statement. And the denominator is coming from where? The balance sheet. Okay, so this also you will study in CMA part 2, that when the numerator is coming from the income statement and the denominator is coming from balance sheet, so the balance sheet figure you have to take average. Why you will do average? Because if you take the closing figure, maybe just before the year end there is some major change in investment, so definitely that figure you are not using throughout the year, right? So for that purpose, income is throughout the year. Income figure you are taking which is throughout the year. How you can compare a figure of the whole year with a figure which is different? I mean, the figure is not related throughout the year. So just to normalize the figure, what we do, we take the opening investment, we take the closing investment, and we divide it by 2 to take an average. Okay, so many times you will see this word as capital employed. Okay, what is capital employed? It means total assets minus current liabilities. Okay, total assets minus current liabilities, or equity plus non-current liability, same answer will come. Okay, so examiner can say that okay, average capital employed is this, or sorry, capital employed is this much, so you will take that figure, or investment is this much, so you will take that figure. Okay, so this is for return on investment. Let us see about the residual income. That is an alternative measure. Once I tell you the formula, then I will also tell you where we can use both of them. So the figures which we have already used above, we can use the same figures to calculate residual income also. Okay, with one additional figure. So the formula is operating income minus average investment. Okay, operating income is OI and average investment is AI, I am taking here, and you will multiply with a percentage. What is this percentage? Basically, examiner will give you this percentage and he will tell you that the minimum required return is this much. Minimum return. Okay, he can also say you that the cost of capital is this much. Okay, he can also tell you that the imputed interest is this much. Okay, all these different terminologies you can get in exam. Now my friends, very simple. So basically, when you get an investment from someone, the investor, they will ask you, right, that Habibi, we need this much minimum return. Okay, so that is the amount, can be 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever it is. So that percentage I am talking about. Okay, now that is called residual income. Okay, what is imputed? This is called imaginary interest also, because you know very well that in the income statement we write the actual interest, right, of if you take a loan from the bank, but we don't write the return which is expected by the investor in the income statement itself. Okay, because you know dividend, even if we give dividends, so that is coming after you create the income statement, and then you see okay, this much we will pay out as dividend and this much we will keep as retained earning, you know. So that goes in the statement of changes in equity. So that's why when we are doing this exercise, we will see, I mean, you came to me and you said, okay, I generated 100,000 profit, operating income. I will tell, no Habibi, wait, let me calculate the residual income. Residue means the remaining, okay, after you deduct something. So I will tell him, see, if you take this investment from the bank, you would have paid 5% interest, right or not? I will say yes. And then that 5% interest you will deduct from your income statement or not? I will say yes. So now I am telling you that, see, you got the money from me, right? So now imagine if this money you would have taken from the bank, you would have paid interest, right, which you have not paid. So I will remove that figure from this operating income and I will see in reality how much extra money you have made. Getting it? So basically the objective is what? The objective is to make money more than the minimum return. So if investor is saying I need 15% minimum, so you should strive to make 16%, 17%, 18%, and that's where you get the bonus. Question: What will be done with the extra return? Definitely the manager will get bonus. So the companies, they can make this policy, you know, for every extra percentage above 15%, we will give you this much bonus. Now see, there is a chance of fraud here, and definitely many frauds happen. So can you manipulate operating income? Yes, definitely you can manipulate operating income figure. That's why the frauds are done. You can manipulate the financial statements to show high profitability. Okay. Anyways, let us return back to the question. The question is question number 1.10, which is from your IMA study support package, Lawton Industries. Okay, so in this question again, let me remind you, we have to calculate return on investment, we have to calculate the residual income, and we have to explain them, right, about both of them, which one is better. And finally, we also have to tell them what elements they have to control. Let us see. So the fourth question is very simple. If I tell you from the same this explanation, now see, they are saying what elements the division should control. All these elements which are in the formula. Very simple. I mean, if you want to be evaluated from return on investment, you should try to maximize your income, right? How you will maximize your income? Through selling more, right, and incurring less cost. So you should try to maximize your sales. You should try to minimize your cost to maximize your operating income. This is the first thing you will tell them, because this is under your control, right? The second thing which you should control is your investment. So you should try to get as less investment as possible from the parent company, because you know, if you keep the denominator less, this denominator average investment, you need to keep less, this one. If you keep this average investment less, what will be the impact on return on investment? That will increase. So basically my objective is to increase the operating income and decrease the investment which I require. So I need to make more money, more profit by using as less investment as possible. Okay, so if you have any additional investment which you think you cannot use, or it's idle, you know, so you should return back to the parent company that I don't need this money. Otherwise that money will be counted as your investment, and you will be evaluated on that figure. Getting it? Now question, can we control this percentage? No, right? This percentage can we control? No. Why no? Because this percentage is the minimum return which is required by the parent company, by the investor. So they will decide how much minimum return they want. So again, what I can do, I can control my operating income. I mean, I can try to maximize my sales, minimize my cost, my expenses, and also I should try to reduce my investment, because the less the investment, good for me, right, in both the formulas. But the percentage which is used in the residual income formula, which I have highlighted in red color, that you cannot control. This is the answer for this question number 4. Okay, I hope you got the point. Let us see the scenario now. Okay, so can I ask Zaman, can you please read this scenario?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you, sir. Yes. For many years, Lawton Industries has manufactured prefabricated a house, where the house are constructed in sections to be assembled on customers' lots. The company expanded into the pre-cut housing market in 2006 when it acquired Pressure Company, one of its suppliers. In this market, various types of lumbers are pre-cut into appropriate lengths, blended into packages, and shipped to customers' lot for assembly. Lawton decided to maintain Pressure's separate identity and thus established the Pressure division as an investment center for Lawton.
Now see, Zaman, we have purchased this company, right?
Yes.
So there is a company called Pressure Company which was our supplier.
Yes.
And we are Lawton Industries and we have purchased it. This is called vertical integration. Okay, in the supply chain when you acquire your supplier. to maybe get some economies of scale and to perform more effectively and less cost. Now
Yes.
they say that you didn't change the name of the company. See, Presser has a separate identity even if after you purchased it. Otherwise,
Yes.
you can merge it in yourself and the whole group is called Lawton Industries. But they say no, we
Yes.
will keep Presser as a separate identity and that is our investment center. Okay?
Yeah.
Now it is my division
Yes.
actually. It's called Presser
Okay,
division.
SBU. Yeah.
Okay? So
Okay, sir.
yeah, read further.
Yeah. Lawton uses return on average investment (ROI) as a performance measure. The investment defined as operating assets employed. Management bonuses are based in part on ROI. All investments in operating assets are expected to earn a minimum return of 15% before income tax.
Now see,
Pressures ROI.
as I mentioned, everyone please focus that the minimum return they are talking about 15%. Okay?
Okay.
So basically, this is that percentage which I highlighted in red color. Remember, in this area here, that minimum
Yeah.
return. So they told you that the minimum return is 15%. So definitely, the management will try to make more than 15% or not. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Very nice. Next.
Yeah. Pressures ROI has ranged from 19.3% to 21.1% since it was acquired in 2006.
This is good, right? I mean, they
Yes.
are making more money, right? They are making more percentage.
Yeah,
Very
than
nice.
the expected return, yes. Yeah. The division had an investment opportunity in the year just ended that had an estimated ROI of 18%. But Pressures management decided against the investment because it believed the investment would decrease the division's overall ROI.
Now see, they are saying there is an investment opportunity. Here comes in the discussion about ROI and RI. Okay, so please note that this is one of the limitations of return on investment, that if the new investment opportunity will give you a return which is less than your current return. What is the current return? 19.3 till 22, right? So the current
Yes.
return is 19, for example, and the new investment opportunity is giving you 18. Now see, this is in the middle of the required return and your current return. It means that see 19 till 22, right? Percent. This is they are
Yes.
making currently. The investment is 18% and the minimum is 15.
50, yes.
Now see, although this is more than the minimum return, so you can argue that they should have accepted it. They should have accepted it, right?
Accepted.
But what they did?
Yeah.
What they
They
did?
deny.
They have decided against this investment.
Yes.
Why? Because their bonus, as I have highlighted in orange color above, the bonus is based on the return on investment.
ROI.
That's why, for the sake of their own self-interest, they are going to reject every investment opportunity which will give them below 19. Getting it?
Yes.
Because their overall ROI will decrease and their bonus will be affected. Now see, this is the loss for the head office, right?
Yes.
Because
Group,
otherwise
for the
there
group.
was a good opportunity which was giving 18%.
Yes.
Anyways, so you should remember this is a limitation of return on investment, that the management, if their bonuses are based on the ROI, they are going to reject every opportunity which will give a return which is less than their current return but more than the minimum return.
Minimum
Got the
return,
point?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Assuming this investment opportunity is giving them maybe 20% or more, they would have accepted it. Getting it?
Yes.
So my friends, now let us move ahead to the next paragraph. Yes, please.
Yeah. Pressures operating statement for the year just ended is presented below. The division's operating assets employed were 1.6 million.
12.6.
12.6 million at the end of the year at the rate of 5% increase over
Why
the
they are
balance.
telling you end of the year? Remember, because in my discussion I told you you have to take average. So they
Yes.
told you there is a 5% increase in the investment from the last year, and you have to consider the average. Getting it, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, very
Yes.
nice. Now, my friends, we have an income statement in front of us, and we have to use it to calculate these both ratios. Remember, requirement number 1 was calculate the ROI, and the requirement number 2 is calculate residual income. Okay, so the formulas are with you, and the information is in front of you. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do this. So let's see who is getting the answer. Yes, my friends. So, yeah, the calculation for return on investment and residual income, right? So, I have received some answers also. It's good that you people have solved it. So, let's see if your answers are correct or not. So, remember, we have the first requirement. I am making this Excel sheet for you, which is for question number 1.10. Okay, question number 1.10, right? The first requirement is for return on investment. The formula I am not writing again, but you have to write. I can write also. It's operating income divided by average investment. In exam, if they are asking you to calculate, you have to mention the formula also. Okay. So where is the operating income? We have in the income statement, right? See, they told you income from operations before tax. So see, although I said before interest and tax, remember, but in this question there is no interest, so you will take this figure as it is, which is income before income tax, 2460. Okay, so 2460, it is in thousands, right? So we need to divide it by a figure which is average investment. Now remember, they told you that the average in the investment at the end of the year is 12.6 million. So remember the approach we do normally, the sales and cost and profit type approach: start, increase, end. So you can make two columns, one for dollar, one for percentage, and you can write, okay, the investment is 12.6, right? In thousands again I am writing, and the increase was 5%, which is 5 here. So definitely the increase will be on the starting figure or on the ending figure. Starting figure, right? So 100 you will put here, and the ending will be 105. If I want to go back here, what I will do is I will take this figure, I will divide it with the figure in front, and I will multiply with 100 to reach what is the starting figure. You can also re-verify to see if the increase is 600 or not by multiplying this figure with 5%. Getting it, everyone? So see, if you multiply the 12,000 with 5%, you will receive 600, and it is a confirmation that our answer is correct. Okay, so if I need the average investment, what I will do, I will say the opening investment, right, plus the closing investment divided by 2, which is 12,300, and my answer is, what is my answer, my friends? My answer is here I am writing this divided by this multiply by 100. So 20% is my answer. I hope it's clear with everyone. Okay, so what is the answer for question number 1? 20%. See, again, they were already making 19.3 to 22.1. So this is the history they had told you, and we have confirmed it again that this year they made how much? 20%. So same like between 19 and 22 they are making. So definitely why would they accept anything below that? Right? So the second, actually this is the limitation of ROI. As I said, this is the limitation of ROI. So what alternative we have? This is the solution. Question number 2 is what? It is the solution for you. So what is the solution? Residual income. Now see how residual income operates. Residual income. Okay. Which is also called RI. So what is the formula? Remember we discussed. It is also operating income minus your average investment multiply by what? The percentage, right? That percentage is called what? Minimum. In this question they called it minimum return, so you will also write minimum return. If they are calling it cost of capital, you will write cost of capital. If they are telling it as imputed interest, you will use the name imputed interest. Okay. So we already know that the operating income was 2460, right? And we also know that the average investment is 12300, right? But we need to know the minimum return. To know the minimum return, we will go back to the question. Remember, I highlighted here minimum return of 15%, this one. Okay, 15%. So we will write this here 15%, and we will close the bracket. Okay. Let us see how this answer will come. So you will say, okay, 2460 minus, right, 12300 into 0.15, 615. So basically, if you remember, we are working in thousands, so you will say or, that is $615,000. Okay, my friends. So basically the answer is $615,000. And now see, the point to remember is that return on investment is in percentage and the residual income is in the figures like this, dollar figure, not a percentage. Okay. I hope it's clear with everyone. Now, my friends, you need to see the logic. What is the logic? Why the residual income? It is an alternative measure for ROI. Okay. What is RI? It is an alternative measure for ROI, and it is a good measure as compared to ROI. Good measure as compared to ROI. Okay. Because why? Because it reduces the conflict of interest. Okay. How it will reduce the conflict of interest? We will look at it in question number 3. Okay. In question number 3, they told you that would the management have been more likely to accept the investment if residual income were used as a performance measure instead of ROI? Explain your answer. So definitely, if you remember that the new investment opportunity. Okay, first of all, I will assume here. Don't write this in exam. This is for your knowledge only, because they are not asking any calculation. Assume that the new investment opportunity, Okay, opportunity was for 100,000. Okay, this was the investment, assume. Now the return was how much? Remember, the return was 18% for that investment. And what is the minimum return required? 15%, right? If I calculate the residual income based on these figures, what will happen? The residual income of this investment, only if I am calculating, it will become, the operating income will come 100,000 into 18%. That is the operating income, right? Which will become 18,000 minus your investment, which is 100,000, right? And your minimum return is 15%. So can you tell me how much residual income will come in this case? Right? So you will say 18 minus 100 into 0.15. Now see, this is plus. What you need to analyze from here, this is a plus figure, positive. Getting it, my friends? Sorry, this is a formula also. Let me make like this. So see, this is a positive figure. Getting it, my friends? This is what? This is a positive figure. So when residual income is a positive figure, that is a good news. When residual income is a negative figure, that is a bad news. Positive, it's like, increase in the wealth. That something positive will come from this investment. Like in CMA part 2, you will study about net present value. So when the net present value is positive, we go for the investment. When the net present value is negative, we don't go for the investment. This is the general rule. So in short, if the management is evaluated on the basis of residual income, they would have accepted this investment. Why? Because this investment will give them a positive residual income and it will increase their bonus. Getting the story, my friends? If the management is evaluated on the basis of, right, residual income, they would have accepted the investment opportunity, right? Because it would have increased their overall residual income and eventually their bonus. Getting it? This is the answer for this question. That if they are evaluated on the basis of residual income, they would accept it because it would increase their overall residual income and eventually their bonus. I hope you people got the point. There is no need for calculation. This was just to explain you. Okay. So this was the answer for question 3. And question 4, I already explained you in the start that what they must control. They must control what? They need to control the sales. They need to control the cost of sales, right? They need to control the selling and admin expenses, because all of them, they lead to the profit, right? The operating profit, right or not, my friends? All of them, they lead to what? They lead to my operating profit, and that is the figure which we take in both of these formulas. Okay, so what they need to do, basically, they should try to increase the sales, right? Increase or decrease? Increase, right? They should try to increase the sales. They should try to reduce the cost of sales. They should try to reduce the selling and admin expenses to maximize their operating income. Because the more the operating income, the more will be the return on investment, the more will be the residual income. And the next thing they need to control is the investment requirement. Okay, they need to keep it low. Why? Because the less the denominator and the less this figure in the brackets, right, the more the answer will come. So the more the bonus. So they need to make sure that they utilize as less investment as possible to maximize their operating income. But the minimum return which we use in the residual income formula, right, that is not under their control, right? Why? Because that is coming from the the parent company, right, which is Lawton Industries. So they cannot control this minimum return. So that is the answer for question number 4, and that is the conclusion of our question number 1.10.